about 25 degrees Celsius right now in Edo State. Meanwhile, by 10 a.m., it's expected to rise to 26 degrees Celsius by 11 a.m. Also, it will maintain the same status, but by 12 p.m., it will rise to 27 degrees, and by 1 p.m., 28 degrees. And I expect it to keep on rising, going a step further, as the day goes on. So that is Edo generally for you, but we did something different this morning. We brought Benin City in particular in Edo State, and it started at 24 degrees Celsius in Benin City. At about now, it is 25 degrees Celsius, and of course, the same reading that we have for the entire Edo State, same presents for Benin City, as you can see it. Highs at 28 degrees Celsius and lows at 22 degrees Celsius. Okay, let us move on now to Rivers. Rivers this morning. Rivers presented 24 degrees Celsius at the start of day, but around this time in River State is about 25 degrees Celsius. 10 a.m. we'll see it rise to 26 degrees Celsius with 10% rain. 11 a.m. we'll see it rise a step further to 27 degrees Celsius, while 12 p.m. and 1 p.m. will maintain 28 degrees Celsius and also at 10% rain. Rainy conditions expected around now in Rivers. It should be raining right about now in River State, with wind gusts up to 9 miles per hour. Highs at 28 degrees and lows at 23 degrees. All right, let us move on to Bayelsa. Bayelsa this morning started at 24 degrees Celsius. It's about 25 degrees Celsius right now in Bayelsa. By 10 a.m. is expected to rise to 26 degrees Celsius. 11 a.m., 27 degrees. And by 12 and 1 p.m., 28 degrees Celsius status. There's going to be rain at about that time. 10% at 12 p.m. and 15% at 1 p.m. Highs at 29 degrees Celsius and lows at 23. All right, rainy conditions expected around 12 p.m. Wind gusts are up to 11 miles per hour. Now, let us move on now away from Bayelsa. Let us take a look at Enugu. And I know we have Enugu somewhere here. Yes, indeed. Let us take a look at Enugu right now. Enugu started at 24 degrees Celsius by daybreak. By 9 a.m. about now, it retained the same 24 degrees Celsius. Meanwhile, by 10 a.m., it's expected to rise to 25 degrees Celsius. 11 a.m., 26 degrees Celsius. 12 p.m., 27 degrees Celsius. And by 1 p.m., 28 degrees Celsius. By this calculation, we expect it to keep going up all through the day. Rainy conditions are expected around 1 p.m. Wind gusts are up to 14 miles per hour. Away from Enugu, let us take a look now at Lagos. I know we have Lagos. Let us take a look at the readings for Lagos. Lagos, rainy conditions from 9 a.m. till about 2 p.m. or thereabout, or 3 p.m. with thunderstorms expected also at 1800 hours. Highs at 28 degrees Celsius and lows at 24. Meanwhile, by this time, we're expecting 10% of rain at 25 degrees Celsius in Lagos. By 10 a.m., it's expected to rise to 26 degrees Celsius, maintaining the same 10% of rain. By 11 a.m., 27 degrees. By 12 p.m., 27 also. However, by 1 p.m., it's expected to rise to 28 degrees Celsius. Rainy conditions from 9 till about 3 p.m. Are expected also in Lagos. Away from Lagos, let us jet off to Kano. Yes, let us jet off to Kano. Kano this morning, partly cloudy conditions expected around 1300 hours. That's about 1 p.m. Wind gusts are up to 15 miles per hour. But Kano started at 23 degrees Celsius by daybreak. However, by 9 a.m., about now, it's 24 degrees Celsius. But by 10 a.m., it's expected to rise 2 leaps up to 26 degrees Celsius. It will keep going by 11 a.m. to 27, by 12, 28, and by 1 p.m. to 29 degrees Celsius. You can see the sun peeking out from the clouds. Partly cloudy conditions are expected around 1 p.m. wind gusts are up to 15 miles per hour. That is Kano. Let us take a look at Nasarawa State this morning. 24 degrees Celsius. It's going to be rainy, just like Abuja, I tell you. They have highs at 29 degrees and lows at 23. Meanwhile, cloudy conditions are expected around 12 p.m. and wind gusts are up to 14 miles per hour. And not to forget that today is expected to, Nasarawa is expected to have up to 75% of rain. That's what the weather forecast is saying. By about now, 45% rain at 24 degrees. By 10 a.m., to see it rise to 25 degrees Celsius, maintaining the same 45% of rain. However, by 11 a.m., it's expected to rise to 26 degrees, falling back to 40% of rain. We have more weather forecast for you this morning. Let us take a look at what is remaining. Okay, let us take a look at Abuja. You can see Abuja right there. Not disappointing at all. It's been raining cats and dogs, elephants and lions in Abuja. The roads are all flooded. It took a lot to get to the office this morning. Abuja, cloudy conditions expected around 17:00 hour. Wind gusts are up to 11 miles per hour. Meanwhile, Abuja started at 23 degrees Celsius. You can see the rains there. 9 a.m. it is still raining here at 45%, 23 degrees, maintaining same. By 10 a.m. it's expected to rise to 24 degrees at 50% rain. By 11 a.m. 25 degrees, 12 p.m. 26, maintaining same at 1 p.m. All right, I think that's all. Okay, we have one more, which is Kaduna. Kaduna, before we are done with the weather reading this morning. Kaduna just popped up. Kaduna, there's going to be some rain, drizzle, drizzling in Abuja. Thunderstorms are expected later in the afternoon. Wind gusts are up to 10 miles per hour. Abuja started, Kaduna, beg your pardon, started at 22 degrees. However, by 9 a.m. it rose to 23 at 35% rain. And it will just keep going. By 10 a.m. 24 degrees. 11 a.m. 25 degrees, 12 p.m. 26, but we'll maintain same at 1 p.m. All right, that's all we have on our weather report this morning. So if your state was mentioned, you of course know what to do. Prepare yourself. Like coming to work this morning, I had my rain boots, I had my shower cap on, my umbrella, and my raincoat. The only thing I didn't have was a canoe and a paddle. Of course, I got a car to come to the office, but it was difficult, you know, navigating all the flooded roads to get here. But you know the way it is, the show must go on because you're paramount in our hearts. All right, let us move on now to the papers this morning, and we are starting with the Vanguard. The Vanguard newspaper this morning is a headline of one of our focus of discussion this morning, which is insecurity in the country. It says armed headers, Boko Haram kill soldiers, others in Benue, Borno. This is a sad one. We wake up every day and there's always something to talk about. Most painful in our hearts, the loss of lives, precious souls that are lost daily. Nigerians, our brothers, our sisters that are lost daily to insecurity, armed headers, banditry, kidnapping, just name it. Unfortunately, there's a very once peaceful nation that never knew anything about insecurity or armed headers. weeks ago, and the same vicinity is still experiencing same in recent times. This happened yesterday, and it really breaks our hearts. Okay, that's the screaming headlines on the Vanguard. That is not all. We have the pictorial of the IBOM Air passenger, the brouhaha with the passenger, and of course the air hostess airline staff made the front page of the Vanguard, and I assure you it's going to run across most of the papers. You can see the picture right there. Just when the dust is yet to settle on the issue with Kwamuan, and we're having this happen again. All right, it says unruly IBOM Air passenger charged to court, remanded in Kirikiri prison. Unruly IBOM Air passenger charged to court, remanded in Kirikiri prison. EFCC grills ex-Secretary Governor Tambawal over alleged 189 billion naira fraud. We have more of that read on page 28 of the Vanguard. Our Catholic Church attack, 5 remanded in DSS custody, page 10. Trump to meet with Putin Friday, promises to get back territory for Ukraine, page 8. That is on the international fort. All right, we have more on the front page. Kwam1 value jet saga, industry divided over suspension of pilots. Hunger, poverty beyond mere statistics in Nigeria, says Obi. We shall be taking a look at that this morning. Attack on Tinubu, NYC certificate or not, my life is great, Uche. Nigeria's non-oil exports jump nearly 20% in first quarter on cocoa urea demand. All right, that's the front page of the Vanguard this morning. Let's move on now to The Guardian. The Guardian newspaper this morning. Glitches, extortion as police insist on new tinted permit shift deadline. Glitches, extortion as police insist on new tinted permit shift deadline. Above that, panel charged NCOs over worsening sanitation in reform facilities. Reactions trail sanctions remand of unruly air passenger as federal government decries rising cases. Competent leadership reduced Argentina's poverty rate from 52% to 38.1% in 2 years, says Obi, page 3. Still on the front page of The Guardian this morning, ADC accuses EFCC of witch hunt as Tambawal held over alleged 158 billion breach. Protests rock Yelwata as gunmen kill 3 in fresh attack. NYC versus Raye, vengeful act says LP as lawyer threatens lawsuit. Oyebanji sacks commissioners, others in Ekiti cabinet reshuffle. Virtually impaired protesters block airport road over closure of Farmcraft Center. All right, that's The Guardian this morning. Let us move on now to The Punch. The Punch newspaper this morning says a panic in ADC as EFCC goes after key members. EFCC grills coalition member Tambawal over 159 billion naira fraud, insists on probe. Key coalition members push back as anti-graft body summons 3 ex-governors. Well, if you ask me, I do not agree that this is a witch hunt. We're talking about accountability, and it's situations like this are welcoming, and we hope more is done by the EFCC. But the question or the expectation is not just to see it happen on the prints, on the front pages of our papers. You give us information, we need follow-up. we need to find out, get to hear the conclusion of such investigations happening, and of course penalties where necessary to deter others from, if any one of them are found guilty, to deter others, from situations like this, because again, the country belongs to each and every one of us, and this monies are national, is a money for everyone who lives in Nigeria. It shouldn't be for some, it should be for all. So I think the ADC should give the EFCC the chance to follow due diligence, proper investigation, and of course those that are innocent will be left to go. That's all we're just asking for as Nigerians from this side of the divide. All right, we have more on the Punch this morning. Above the mast says federal government generates 5.21 trillion naira from oil sales. IG extends tinted glass permit enforcement to October 2nd. Government warns 3,598 workers of dismissal, others fresh verification. I'll take that again. Government warns 3,598 workers of dismissal, others fresh verification. I hope they're listening. And beside the mast, World Bank approves fresh 12.98 trillion naira loans to Nigeria in 2 years. That's information. More borrowing by the Nigerian government. Well, it is our reality. Customs intercept 1 billion naira worth of arms, expired drugs. That's alarming. Five-phase trial over 2022 Owo church terror attack. Ibom Air passengers remand ignites selective justice uproar. Ogun removed demolition seal as Daniel threatens Abiodun with lawsuit. All right, we're done with that paper. Let us move on now to the Nigerian Tribune. Nigerian Tribune this morning, value jet, Ibom Air incidents. It's a double standard. Justice must be fair, equal, says Obi. Police arraign female passenger caught romancer in Kirikiri prison. Airline operators ban her from flying for life. Ooh. Federal government to punish Ibom Air official who released passengers' indecent video. All right. Reform fatigue sets in as 16 trillion naira debt service erodes gains of fuel subsidy removal. Reform fatigue sets in as 16 trillion naira debt service erodes gains of fuel subsidy removal, analyst. Cautious optimism as INEC braces up for 7-hour exercise. Page 15. Tambuwal in EFCC custody over 189 billion naira cash withdrawals. DSS arraigns 5 over 2022 over church killings. All right, let's move on now to the Leadership newspaper. The Leadership this morning. The Leadership this morning says northern states roll out flood control plans amid federal government alerts. Northern states roll out flood control plans amid federal government alerts. 8 confirmed dead as flood wreaks havoc on Eboin community. Not just Eboin, we have news that 2 brothers actually lost their lives somewhere in Abuja as a result of flooding in their community. It's just happening in most states, and the federal government have been sending warnings to states, that are really close to being flooded. Delta, Lagos. Of course, you remember the situation in Lagos where people, especially those in Ikorodu, were cut off from civilization. I really do not have the follow-up on the situation there, but the rains this year have been terrible. Of course, Adamawa is still on our hearts as over 100 people have lost their lives, not to talk about properties and they're still searching for some whom they are yet to confirm. dead. So that's the situation right now in the country. On the front page of the leadership this morning, federal government pays 5.12 billion naira pension arrears to 90,689 retirees. Borno residents flee to Cameroon as Boko Haram kills soldiers, abducts schoolgirls. Very sad indeed. Again, we're taking a look at these issues on the show this morning. All right, let's move on now to the blueprint. The blueprint this morning says NFA kills over 400 bandits in Zamfara forest raid. Army sustains fight against oil thieves in Niger Delta. Blueprint custom seizes 10 billion naira contraband arms drugs at Lagos port. Okay, let us move on to the Liberty. Voice of Liberty this morning. It says President reacts to report of Tinubu's ill health. President reacts to report of Tinubu's ill health. Above that story, soldiers kill 100 bandits in Zamfara. The Tambuwal story submit the Voice of Liberty, the front page. Away from that, 2027, I'm not in any opposition alliance, ex-SGF boss Mustafa. Rivers, ADC records over 800,000 members. Yusuf Amisu led NIMASA governing board holds inaugural meeting, pledges unflinching support to achieve mandate. All right, let us move on now to the Daily Mirror, the Daily Monitor, I beg your pardon. The Daily Monitor this morning, Obi won 2023 election, not Tinubu, ex-SGF Babachir Lawal. All right, that's his opinion. EFCC arrests ex-Sokoto Governor Tambuwal. That also made the Daily Monitor front page. And of course, physically challenged persons cripple economic, social activities at Lagos Airport. Up next is the Daily Trust newspaper. The Daily Trust screaming headlines, EFCC detains Tambuwal, invites ex-governor Emeka Ehedioha. Another Katsina local government enters peace deal with bandits. All right. My lips are sealed. We killed many bandits in Zamfara, says the military. Passenger remanded for assaulting airline staff. UN media groups condemn journalist killing in Gaza. About 5 journalists last week were killed in Gaza. Al Jazeera journalists covering events in Gaza were killed. So that is the update by the UN. World Bank approves $300 million to support IDPs in northern Nigeria. 5 months after a federal government ban, another tanker explodes in Kaduna. Boko Haram kills 3 soldiers, abducts schoolgirls in Borno. Up next is the Matrix. The Matrix this morning, remanding Comfort Bob while Kwam roams free is double standard, says Obi. Says we must build country where justice is fair, equal, not selective. Outrage over error field remand sheet incarceration till October 6th. Whoever released their indecent photos will be punished, Kayamo vows. FIRS unveils e-invoicing electronic fiscal system for large enterprises. That's on business. And on entertainment, Bimbo Akintola at 52, why I'm still single, childless. And on sports, Chan 2024, where will first Super Eagles be without fear? Sudan coach. A Papa customer arrests 5 in major crackdown, 10 billion naira contraband busted. All right, let's move on to the Daily Times. Blind physically challenged group cripple activities at Lagos Airport. We already brought that story on our previous papers. So let's move on to Al Jazeera, Nigeria. Al Jazeera, Nigeria says State investments, Akwa Ibom Assembly probes ex-Governor Udom Emmanuel. Tinubu congratulates NAFDAC for retaining WHO regulatory status. Defined benefit scheme, PTAD set to disburse 5.12 billion naira pension arrears. And that is our paper front pages this morning. We are done with that. We've cleared our weather report and, of course, the front pages of our papers. We'll take a break, and when we return, our guests will be here as we take a look at issues. First, the International Youth Day, and, of course, insecurity and hunger in the land. We'll take that break and stay with us for more.
In the beginning, God created a beautiful world.
3, 2, 1. Action.
And that's why, at Kaftan Television,
we imagine a beautiful world.
We are not just bragging.
we blaze the trail in broadcasting. And it is about you.
At Kaftan TV, broadcasting is not just about information, education, and entertainment.
It's an aggregation of all you need to know in Nigeria
and around the world to create signal.
At Kaftan Television, we have all it takes to be on top in broadcasting.
Our mission is simple: to project Africa in a truthful yet positive manner.
Wait, we're coming to you in style.
Here we are, starting from September.
Look at what the facts are.
And as you say on Kaftan TV, imagine a beautiful world.
In the beginning, God created a beautiful world.
3, 2, 1. Action.
And that's why, at Kaftan Television,
We imagine a beautiful world.
We are not just bragging.
we blaze the trail in broadcasting. And it is about you.
At Kaftan TV, broadcasting is not just about information, education, and entertainment.
It's an aggregation of all you need to know in Nigeria
and around the world to create signal.
At Kaftan Television, we have all it takes to be on top in broadcasting.
Our mission is simple: to project Africa in a truthful yet positive manner.
Wait, we're coming to you in style.
Here we are, starting from September.
Look at what the facts are.
And as you say on Kaftan TV, imagine a beautiful world.
In a world where information is vital to every individual, a platform where technology is a medium to pass information, you can always catch up on all information written in the newspapers, even without having one. Join us on The Press.
Reaching you live from the Abuja studios.
On The Punch for this morning. The Blueprint newspaper, Nigerian Tribune this morning.
As we give you information and opinions about current events and topical issues on politics, business, sports, entertainment, weather forecasts, and lots more in the local city, across all states, and across all countries. Showing daily on StarTimes, channel 124, 9 a.m. West African time, only on Kaftan TV. Stay connected with us.
That he said it is a reason why I will not do it. I pursue the federal government to pay us our damages.
YouTube, Kaftan TV.
A very tricky one. And then the bottom line is this.
Website www.kaftan.tv.
Point is, the youth must come together. The pendulum can swing in your favor.
Instagram, Kaftan_TV. Kaftan TV. Imagine.
Yes, welcome back. Yes, indeed, the show is still on. We appreciate your patience as we continue now to our discussion segment. I'm glad to let you know that my guests are here a gentleman and a lady, as I love to do it on the show. And like I said when we started, if you started with us, today is the International Youth Day. But that's not the only topic which I'll be taking a look at today. We shall be taking a look at insecurity and hunger in the land vis-a-vis the discussion of the International Youth Day. And analysis of newspaper front pages. This is what we do on the press Monday to Friday. International Youth Day is observed on the 12th of August all over the world. Observed because it is important for us to acknowledge our youth, their contribution and their challenges to the world order. And today we should try as much as possible to discuss that. Our focus is on Nigeria as we take a look at the Nigerian youth. Of course, their challenges and their contribution to nation building. To help us understand and push the discussion further, like we said on the show, I have the lady first, Uchenna Obidike. She's a legal practitioner and social affairs analyst, a second time on the show. Uchenna, it's so nice to have you. You're looking radiant as usual.
Good morning. Thank you so much for having me. Good morning, Nigerians.
Thank you so much. Thank you. And she's not the only one. I have a gentleman, the first, and we'll be seeing more of him on the show when he has the time. And is Ima Ofot, is a social affairs analyst, a journalist, and of course, a man of many parts, is right here with us this morning. It's so nice to have you on the press this morning.
Good morning, Nigerians. Good to have you around.
So let us start from the top as we take a look at first the International Youth Day. There's a lot happening to the youth all over the world, and in particular the Nigerian youth. For me, if I'm asked, I say the Nigerian youths are breaking barriers, unimaginable barriers, where there are no opportunities to create one for themselves. And just like the Holy Book says, the Lord creates a way where there's no way, but the Nigerian youth seem to work that talk by creating ways where there are none for themselves, breaking forth despite the odds. Uchenna, let us begin by talking about the Nigerian youth. In your opinion, how are they fared as we recognize and, observe their day today?
Okay, thank you so much. The International Youth Day is a day to celebrate the youth because they are the future of a nation. Now, when you look at Nigerian youths, let me start by saying that Nigeria, among many countries in the world, many nations in the world, Nigeria is one of the countries with the greatest or largest youth population in the world. And this could be seen as a challenge, or it also could be seen as an opportunity. Now, the story of Nigeria's youth is one which is almost a sobering story. We're supposed to be celebrating them today, but we also have to, look at the reality of the Nigerian youths. What are they facing? It's a sobering story. They are facing a lot of issues. Now they're facing a lot of issues, including two major issues like hunger and insecurity. We have the issues of what they call it, lack of fair job opportunities. We have their exclusion in policy making. We have, we've seen our youths subjected to a lot of degrading and humiliating treatment. So this is the reality of many Nigerian youths. How many of them can afford 3 square meals? How many of them can afford the basic amenities in Nigeria? These are people who are agile. These are people who are willing to work. These are people who want to be included, but are they really included? So this is what we see every day. This is what the Nigerians see every day. They are not grumpy. They just want to be heard, to be seen, and to be understood and catered for. So that is what I have to say about the International Youth Day. And I wish our government, because we are celebrating them today, we want to celebrate our happy youths. We don't want to celebrate people who are not even interested in being celebrated because of the way they have been treated by their nation. So what I would be asking and requesting for as a youth myself is for youth to be included in a lot of things, for youth to be catered for. Yes, that is what I'll be asking for as we celebrate them today.
Okay. Well, the youth were first, the International Youth Day was first observed in Lisbon on August 9th or 8th to 12th in 1998, before it was adopted by the United Nations on the 12th to be observed to actually celebrate the youth all over the world. Now you've heard, Uchenna kickstart the show. While I was doing my research, I just tried to pick out 5 challenges that the Nigerian youth seem to face in the nation. And I got unemployment, underemployment, I got education-employment mismatch, I got the fact that many graduates lack the practical skills required in the job market. Mental health challenges, one of them, substance abuse, and of course, great opportunities from government, which Uchenna just mentioned. Maybe you have something different for this moment as we take a look at the International Youth Day, and of course, our focus being the Nigerian youth. Challenges and, of course, success.
Well, I want to wish our youths Happy International Youth Day. I used to remember that they used to say that the Nigerian youths are the leaders of tomorrow. I wonder if they are leading.
Yeah.
I think maybe this government has just given some young people space in that direction. And the youth themselves, they really reinvented themselves when you look at it. In spite of what is happening, and if they want to go by the things they see, there are certain things when you look at it and then you now want to say it, there's no coordination, it does not synchronize. You tell a young man, don't sit there, and then you now go there and sit there. I mean, that is not it. They want to see models, but the youth are very dynamic, very creative. I found out that even in the midst of these tough times, they create, they reinvent. Take time off and sit down with them. You see them playing with the Android phone, playing with the system, and you just have a chat with them. You see some creative ideas that will just pop up. It might not be the way you are looking at it, but you see a great potentials. And then some of them will say they are looking for opportunity. But I also encourage you, while you are looking for opportunity, you can create your opportunity. You can seize your opportunity. You can grab your opportunity. Yes, there's a lot of hunger in the land. When you are hungry, you can't be creative. In short, when you are very hungry, you are tempted to do things you ought not to do, because at times you can be lured, tempted with so many things you did not bargain for. But I would say this day for the youth should really be a mark for these youth people, for the young people, to know that, look, this is their day. I think, if I may suggest, the youth people should even take over the parliament for today.
Yes.
Go to the Aso Rock Villa, each state governors and sub-nationals to the local government level. Oh, today is your day. Let's give it to them. Let it become a challenge whereby they are looking forward to a particular day that it will be a memorial for them, you know, and to observe. So that's what I think we should do. But I also wish our youth Happy International Youth Day.
Now talking about hunger not being a means of inspiration for anyone. If you go by our comedians who are breaking grounds all over the world, comedians like Akboro, Agudai, Agusave, Cleans the Drunk, those who came before now, who set the pace, just mention them. You know, why they tell your jokes, they actually say the inspiration for their success is hunger. If you go back and watch and listen to the past videos by this by our comedians and those who are breaking forth, like the skit makers, those who are top film producers today, you know, their passion and zeal, what pushed them was because of where they were coming from, which was poverty. Now, let us take a look at unemployment and underemployment of the Nigerian youth as we take a look at the challenges that they face in the nation. Ime has said that hunger, is a challenge. We're talking about job creation, talking about opportunities from government. And Ime said something. Do not wait for the opportunities, create the opportunities. And there are a lot of Nigerian youth who are walking that talk, creating opportunities, like I said, making a way where there seems to be no way. Uchenna, I really want you to, let's talk about unemployment and underemployment among the Nigerian youth and how these problems can be surmounted by the youth.
Well, it's very saddening that Nigeria has to face the issue. Nigerian youths have to face this issue daily in their lives because this issue of unemployment in Nigeria or underemployment among the Nigerian youths is very overwhelming. We have a lot of people who have graduated from schools with very good grades, very good results, who are sitting at home. I know you're talking about Nigerian youths trying to be creative, but despite that, we still have the government who has to fend for the Nigerian youths. Let me start by saying that by Section 14(2)(b) of the 1999 Constitution, the primary purpose of the government is the security and welfare of the Nigerian citizenry, including the Nigerian youths, providing a conducive environment for them. When we're talking about a conducive environment, you're talking about job creation and fair job opportunities. Because we know, when I talk about fair job opportunities, I am placing serious emphasis on it because we know how the job market in Nigeria is. Some people are favored. There's nepotism. Some people are favored because of their backgrounds or their influences or connections. We want situations where people get jobs based on merit, not because of who they know or who they are connected to. We want Nigeria.
Our quota system.
Our quota system, yes, thank you so much. So we want Nigerian youths to be included when all these are being carried out. You're talking about underemployment. We have a lot of the youth in Nigeria make up the population, almost half of the population of Nigeria. Now you ask yourself, how many people are employed by the government? You don't expect the government to do everything for us, because you also have to think about what you can do for the government and yourself too. But has the government done enough in this situation?
That's the big question.
That's the big question. The government has not. This is very sad to say this, because we have a lot of people. When we have government job applications, openings, you see more than 3,000-4,000 youths applying for, let me just say, a single position. Yes, when you see immigration jobs, Nigerian army jobs and all that, you see a lot of youths. How many of those people get those jobs? Then what happens to the rest that are not employed?
Let me just buttress that. The front page of the Nation newspaper this morning says 1.91 million apply for 30,000 jobs in paramilitary agencies. That's just the statistics. I'm sure it's out of fear that they gave us 1.9 million. When we go about the population in Nigeria, maybe this is definitely above what they got. I'm just saying. So it is really, really scary. Now let us move on a little bit. Let us talk about mental health challenges. This is why I come to Ime. I'm talking about mental health challenges. I need to bring in the Akwa Ibom, the Ibom Air passenger battle, the Kwamu